Hi, this is Brad Constantine, and this is a podcast recording of the Old Testament. Although this is not an official recording of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, every effort's been made to be as doctrinally accurate as possible. I'll be using for the text the Joseph Smith translation of the Old Testament, along with many commentaries from general authorities of the Church, BYU professors, Bible scholars, and others. This format will be very detailed, and so if you want a deep analysis of the Old Testament, you come to the right place. Thanks for your attendance. Hi, and welcome back. This will be for Zechariah chapter 14. The heading reads, At his second coming the Lord shall fight for Israel. His feet shall stand upon the Mount of Olives. He shall be king over all the earth. Plagues shall destroy the wicked. Verse 1, Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Some erroneously conclude that the final battle of the war will be fought at Megiddo or Armageddon, but as Elder McConkie pointed out, the final struggles will center around Jerusalem, though they may extend to Megiddo. At the very moment of the second coming of our Lord, all nations shall be gathered against Jerusalem to battle, and the Battle of Armageddon, obviously covering the entire area from Jerusalem to Megiddo, and perhaps more, will be in progress. Verse 3, Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a great valley, a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach out unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. Gee, that sounds a lot like when Jesus was born on the American continent, that it was day and night, and day was as one day. Hadn't noticed that before. Verse 8, And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea, and in summer and in winter shall it be. So he's talking here about the water that comes out from underneath the temple in Jerusalem. Half of it will go to the Mediterranean Sea, and half of it will go to the Dead Sea. And the Lord shall be a king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem, shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananiel unto the king's winepresses. All men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall be laid hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen, or nations or Gentiles round about, shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts. All the beasts will be smitten that shall be in these tents or camps as this plague. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. I think that they'll keep the Feast of Tabernacles in celebration of the second coming. I think that the second coming will occur around the time of the Feast of Tabernacles, which is symbolic of the ingathering and of the harvest, and it's very symbolic. Verse 17, And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. The prophet Joseph Smith said, While in conversation at Judge Adams during the evening, I said, Christ and the resurrected saints will reign over the earth during the 1,000 years. They will not probably dwell upon the earth, but will visit it when they please or when it is necessary to govern it. There will be wicked men on the earth during the 1,000 years. The heathen nations who will not come up to worship will be visited with the judgments of God and must eventually be destroyed from the earth. The wicked will not all be destroyed at the coming of Christ, and also there will be wicked during the millennium. That Jesus will be a resident on the earth's 1,000 years with the saints is not the case, but he will reign over the saints and come down and instruct as he did the 500 brethren. Those of the first resurrection will also reign with him over the saints. Elder McConkie said, during the millennium, however, the Lord will use the forces of nature to turn people's attention to the truth. Whoso will not come up, said Zechariah, of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Verse 20, in that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord, and the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness or sacred unto the Lord of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seethe or cook in them therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. So anyway, there's lots of prophecies there about the last days and the millennium and the second coming. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter, and we'll see you next time. Bye.